This safety and setup video overview is not intended to augment the information found within the GroundHound Site Safety Monitor User's Manual. Please carefully read the User's Manual for important and in-depth safety regulations and guidelines so that you are familiar with the many aspects of setup and operation of the GroundHound sensor. As with any device, the GroundHound Site Safety Monitor system is designed to improve upon and not replace your worksite condition awareness. Always use your judgment and continue to be observant of your worksite conditions beyond the warning systems provided by the GroundHound sensor.
Operation using a smartphone application. The insertion of a smartphone into the GroundHound's communication chain adds powerful features that further enhance the sensor's protective capabilities, allowing you to remotely track volatile ground spikes. In this video overview, we will walk you through the process of linking your smartphone to the GroundHound sensor. For a list of smartphones that the GroundHound mobile application is supported on, please visit www.thegroundhound.com. First, download the GroundHound app from the iTunes or Android App Store. Simply search for GroundHound. Verify that you are downloading the official app for the GroundHound sensor by checking that the publisher of the app is Advantage Electronic Product Development Incorporated.
Before you head out to the worksite, we recommend that you open your GroundHound sensor kit and verify the presence of all contents. For a complete list of components, check your GroundHound manual or watch the video titled GroundHound Component Overview. We also recommend that you verify that the sensor, the receiver, and your mobile device are all fully charged. You can do so by establishing a remote connection between the Zigbee receiver and the GroundHound sensor, then viewing the battery life for both devices from the app's status screen. When approaching a worksite for the first time, set the GroundHound sensor on a dry, flat surface that is elevated and exposed in such a manner that the audio and visual alarms can be heard and seen by your entire crew. If this optimal setup and working environment is not available, then use your best judgment for placement of the sensor. Do not turn the GroundHound sensor on at this time. The sequence of these connections is extremely important, and you are encouraged to pay close attention to ensure the safety of your crew and yourself. To start, make sure that the GroundHound sensor power switch is in the off position. Then determine the location of the GroundHound sensor by laying out the worksite ground cable, beginning at the worksite ground and heading outward in the chosen direction. Attach the reference ground threaded shaft to the GroundHound sensor. Now determine the location of the reference ground stake. Choose a location that is at least 20 feet from the worksite ground and in a direction that will keep the GroundHound sensor and attached cables out of heavy traffic areas on the worksite. Firmly insert the reference ground stake into the ground at the end of the reference ground cable. Then attach the reference ground cable. Next, you will connect the reference ground cable to the reference ground threaded shaft. After you have made this connection, then you will connect to the worksite ground. To do so, you will attach the worksite ground cable to the GroundHound using the worksite ground cable connector. Note that you may have to loosen the working ground cable connector hand screw in order to properly insert the ferrule of the worksite ground cable. Once inserted, tighten the hand screw until it is firmly clasping the ferrule of the worksite ground cable. The next step is to connect the worksite ground cable to the worksite ground. However, if this is an existing worksite with ground cables already installed, then this connection must be made with a live line tool. Now that your reference ground and worksite ground have been properly connected to the GroundHound sensor, you will turn the unit on by depressing the on-off power button on the sensor. This concludes the proper setup of the GroundHound sensor at a worksite. To assure that the GroundHound sensor is operating properly, we recommend that you now watch the video titled GroundHound Sensor Menu, which will walk you through the various menu options in the LCD display menu. When you have verified proper operational status, close and latch the weather-resistant lid.